Welcome to the Living Large Theater podcast, where we talk about the issues important to you. Admission is free. All you need is a sense of humor and a thirst for entertainment.
All right.
And welcome to another edition of the Living Large Theater podcast. I am Billy Santiago, along with my good friend of 36 years, Gary Rodriguez, producer extraordinary, Noe Ayala. And on today's show, we have the distinct honor of talking to a good friend of ours from way back in the day, actor, musician, JD Mata. We'll check in with JD in just a little bit. Also coming up, talking Super Bowl aftermath, tax day coming up. Our good friends from up north, the Winter Texans, and a whole bunch more. But right now, here's Gary Rodriguez with opening comments. Gary.
Hey, thank you, Billy. And Noe, thank you for being the super producer you are. Don't forget, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, and Google. If you're one of the many that want to get in on the sponsorship of the Living Large Theater podcast, call Noe Ayala at 956-451-1633. On Facebook, we are the Living Large Theater. On email, you can email us at livinglargetheater@gmail.com. And yes, indeed, we're going to forego today's monologue because we have a big star on our hands today, and that is McAllen native actor, musician, JD Mata in Los Angeles, California. JD.
What's up, JD?
Hey, man, thank you for getting up early and visiting with us today, JD. It makes us all really warm in the cockles to have you here at our disposal to talk with and shed some the cockles. You shed some light on life in LA and what it takes to succeed. And you know, I got to tell you something, man. We're very, very proud of you because one day you're here and the next day you're in LA. But let's back up a little bit. So I met you through Billy. Billy was hosting comedy night at the 23rd Street Sports Pub. And that was the sports pub that was on, 23rd Street.
There you go.
And Billy was the MC. And then one time he had something else come up, so he asked me to go in for him, and that's when I started talking to you. And I think one of the funniest things I'll ever remember of that is this guy walked in wearing a little orange or brown vest, leather vest, and you were up there playing your keyboards and guitar, and you go, oh, hold on, here's Lupe from Bronco. I never ever forgot that, man. It was great. Anyway, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Any greetings for your friends and family back here in the Rio Grande Valley of Texas?
Hey, well, first of all, thank you for having me, guys. I love the title of the show, Living Large Theater. That's like incredible. And I just want to say hello to all the homies from South Texas, from Texas. I'm living large, I'm living medium, I'm living small, I'm living life to the fullest.
Hey, man, I follow you on Facebook, and I see just the vibrancy in your existence. You riff a lot. You come up with these rhymes that, they're very intellectual and sort of high-minded, but at the same time, they're very basic. They're messages that actually touch the heart and the mind and the soul.
Hey, JD. This is Billy here, your good buddy. Hey,
Billy.
Listen, when we were doing the 23rd Street Sports Pub night on Tuesday night, and, you know, after a while, you decided you were going to make a move to LA. What was it about that time in your life where you said to yourself, you know what? I need to make that move because I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it in this world. If I don't make this decision to make the jump, move to LA, get into acting, I don't want to kick myself in the butt 5-10 years down the road and say, would have, could have, should have. What was that determining factor for you?
Well, that's a great question, Billy. And first of all, those Let's Get Stupid nights.
That's right. It was Let's Get Stupid.
Yeah.
It was called Let's Get Stupid. I mean, I got some of my best material from those nights. You know, if you recall, people would go up and whoever would say the stupidest joke.
Yeah, they get a bar tab.
$104.
Yep.
Right.
In cash and prizes. Yeah, in cash and prizes.
Right.
It was never $104 in cash.
It was $4 and you get a $100 bar tab.
That's right. It was Let's Get Stupid night at the 23rd Street Sports Pub.
Oh, Oh man, that's where I got my teeth, my chops. I'm telling you, and I just you guys, Billy and Gary, and occasionally you'd be Ferrora. What was the gentleman's name?
Farina, Tony Farina.
Tony Farina. I think he occasionally would be there, but anyway, I reflect on those days and working with you guys, and you guys were masters, man. You were. I think about the professionalism that you guys had, and how witty and how funny and how you really were able to captivate the audience, and it was world class, man. So
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you got our tremendous respect.
Thank you, brother. Means a lot to me, man. We had fun. I'll tell you what, man. On top of the jokes and the professionalism, the fun was just running amok. Go ahead, Noe.
So
fun was.
I have a true story with JD. JD, remember when I was your helper back in the days? I used to help you with
seriously?
Setups. Yeah. At weddings and at Pepe's on the River as well.
You're his roadie?
Yeah, I helped him a lot. Yeah, I helped him a
lot. Wow, did not know that was a small world, man.
And those were great days, right, JD?
I remember Noe like it was yesterday, man. Definitely.
How old were you back then, though?
Man, I was young. I was 20-some years old, 21 or even younger than that.
It's a small world. Yeah. It's a small world.
I'm still 21.
Aren't we all 21 at heart, if you will? Yeah.
Almost. I'm getting there.
So anyway, JD, so you move out to LA, and you're saying to yourself, what did I get myself into? Or I'm going to make this thing happen. How long did it take before you got a role somewhere in a movie or a TV show?
Okay. So, like, addressing the Billy's initial question in terms of like, what is it that got me out there? Look, I remember when I was 5 years old, walking in. Remember the Palace Theater? Did you guys grow up in McAllen? Did any of y'all grow up?
I grew up in Dallas, but I heard about the Palace Theater because my brother lived down here.
I grew up here.
Right. The Palace was like at least when I was a kid, there was the main theater on Main Street. Dude, and I remember walking in for the first time, my first movie, as far as I can remember, and looking at the paisley carpet, and I was like, wow, this is really, really cool. And then walking into the theater and watching the movie Dracula, and sitting down there, everybody was like scared and screaming, and I was just in awe with the composition of the scene and the character, and I think even back then I was kind of analyzing the acting and just in awe, and that's when I said to myself, this is what I want to do.
That's when you caught the bug.
That's when I caught the bug. But who are you going to tell in McAllen at the age of from 5 to 15 years old that I really want to go to Hollywood and be an actor? I mean, that's loco.
Yeah. Got to dream big.
Get your ass out in the field and pick something. Hurry up.
Exactly.
Hey, JD, I think that theater's still there. It's isn't it Cine del Rey? Was that the one?
El Rey was always El Rey, I think.
Okay.
But the Palace was a little bit north of El Rey. I think the Palace was actually on Main Street per se.
Oh, okay.
And it was a little like about 3 blocks north of where El Rey is on Main Street. There were a couple of theaters back then.
I'm going to tell you something, man. You yourself, man. I appreciate the acknowledgments to Billy and I hosting the Let's Get Stupid night, but you yourself were very professional. There were times when the comedian either didn't show up, or he got drunk, or he got in a fight, or he was lost, and you carried the show. Obviously, we can only tell so many jokes. The audience can only tell so many jokes, but you were there to provide the room music, and man, you were always ready. And I would be amazed that at the instruments you play, you were pretty much a one-man band. But what instruments do you play?
I was taking a sip from some coffee. So I play. My main instrument are piano and guitar, and I play saxophone as well.
Wow!
But I play piano, guitar, and I sing. Every morning, my routine is is I get up in the morning. I make coffee. If it's a normal day, if I don't have to go on audition or be on set or whatever or travel, but I get up and I make coffee. I do the dishes and I practice the piano every day. Every day I practice the piano, and then after the piano I practice the guitar.
Wow.
And,
are you always learning new stuff, or you're practicing things that you already know?
You know, like what I've been practicing, my poor neighbors. I've been practicing the set list that I'm doing right now. Like I do. The first thing I always do is, as a warm up, I do the bridal chorus and the wedding march. Those two things, because I will get called to sing at people's weddings. Still, like I was a Mexican wedding singer back in South Texas.
I remember that.
And even
Mexican wedding singer.
I was a Mexican wedding. It's like everybody's wedding. Even Bo Garza. I sang at Bo Garza's wedding.
Wow.
You know.
Hey, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. We want to hear this.
Oh no. All I was gonna say was, I always practice the wedding march and the bridal chorus because I still get called to sing at weddings and at wedding ceremonies, and so I'll be sharp on the wedding march and the bridal chorus at the end, right? But yeah, no. And then I just do stuff like every day I play the piano, man, and the Hallelujah, and I practice rock around the clock, and I practice blues riffs on the piano. And
you have you're a good comedian too. I will never forget your Father Mehmet joke. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Can we hear it? Can we hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to cuss on radio? Or?
Yeah,
it's a podcast. It's a podcast, man. Go ahead.
So here's Father Mehmet with JD Mata. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, actually, this is a true story. It was Thanksgiving. I think it was circa 92, 93. And it's Thanksgiving dinner. And we're all sitting around the table, right? And, I forgot to mention that my mom had been to HEB that morning to buy, all the stuff for dinner, for Thanksgiving dinner. And unfortunately, the ham that she wanted to buy initially was sold out because it was Thanksgiving. And so she ended up going to Reuben's Grocery, and they had this new ham, this exotic ham called Damn Ham, right?
Right, Damn Ham.
Damn Ham, yep. They only sold at Reuben's Groceries, right there in McAllen on I think it's on
Gumwood.
On Gumwood, yes, exactly.
Yeah, I go there.
So it's Thanksgiving dinner. Mehmet comes to dinner. We invited him to dinner, right? And we're all sitting. I'm the one that has to do grace, and we're all sitting around the dinner table, and I was really craving this new exotic ham called Damn Ham. So Father Mehmet's sitting at the head of the table, and I tell my mom, pass me the damn ham. And Father Mehmet was, kind of looks up. A little, it looked like he was a little scandalized. And then my dad told me, Mijo, pass me the damn ham. and then my brother says, Dad, pass me the damn ham. And Father Mehmet kind of looks up. He says, well, that's a spirit. Pass me the fucking potatoes.
Woo!
I think you had another joke about Rover under the table or something.
Rover.
Do that one.
Another true story.
Yeah, let's hear that one.
Yeah, true story. Yeah, I was dating this girl. Her name was Denise. She was a cheerleader there at Edinburgh High School. And it was our first date, and she invited me over for Christmas dinner. It was crazy. And we're all sitting around, they passed, we had the appetizers. Y me cayó bien mal, dude. I mean, it just kind of like didn't sit well with me. And it was our first date. The entire family was around there. And this appetizer, I think it was, what was it? It was Campineche or something. What do you call it? Something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's
what is it? Yeah.
Cachito paro or one of those crazy.
Yeah, cachito palo, cagar palo, something like that. Right?
Carapirotada or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Capirotada. Yeah, I hate that stuff.
Yeah. So I kind of like started, you know, and I was already nervous to begin with, and so I had to cut one, dude. And but luckily for me, the family dog, their dog Rover, was sitting next to me, and I said, well, maybe if I just cut let it out slowly, quietly, you know, the smell, they'll think it's Rover. And so then I let it out quietly, and I go Rover. You know?
So everybody thought it was a dog.
Well, yeah, no, it was like, particularly the father. Actually, you know what? If I recall correctly, it was the father that said Rover. So after about 5 minutes, and I was letting them all out quietly, and I was feeling better. The dad goes to the dog, Rover, get out of there before he fucking shits on you.
Oh, no, yes. Hey, man, it's a blast having you on. Sit tight, man. This is the Living Large Theater podcast. We're available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, Google. If you want to jump on board with our sponsors, call Noe, super producer, Noe Ayala, 956-451-1633. We're on Facebook at Living Large Theater. We're on email at livinglargetheater@gmail.com. And Noe checks that every day as well. Hey, JD, man, I know I read the trades, and you were up there. You were a finalist to be to have a role in the brand new Uber One commercial with P. Diddy. How did you get that close? I know that it eventually went somewhere else, but how did you get that close? What got you there?
Well, okay, but before I go on, I just want to say that when I say true story, it's not really a true story.
Oh, we know. We know. That's how we start. Everything's a true story.
That's how we would start the jokes, right?
Of course.
And I don't want to, like, the Diocese of Brownsville calling me, Father Mehmet,
Yeah, anyway, you maligned his memory.
You know what,
exactly.
JD? You know what, JD? They actually miss you down at OLPH. I'm actually there serving.
Oh wow, yeah, man.
You should come down to visit.
That was my home parish.
Yeah, you should come down and visit.
And I sang there. I will for sure.
Yeah.
But going back to Gary's question, man, I tell you, what it's like living here in Los Angeles. I always say, you know how people say, well, I'm surrounded with yes people. Well, I'm surrounded with no people, because people that always say no, it's so brutal and it's so competitive, that I remember going back. I did it back in, I guess it was 2003, 2004. I did a commercial with Sigourney Weaver, and it was for a product called Orange. And Orange is kind of the AT&T of Great Britain. And so I actually played a musician. It was like she comes on and she does like a mock David Letterman show, and I'm like the Paul Schaefer. And I had a bunch of lines, and actually Sigourney Weaver was really sweet. After shooting, she invited me to have lunch there on set with her, and I'm like, wow, I was next to Sigourney Weaver. I always had a crush with her. And I remember telling everybody that I think, was this before Facebook? This may have been before Facebook, but I remember sending emails to everybody, I'm going to be in this commercial, and and at the end of the day, the commercial came out, and I had been cut out. And it's like, what? And it just like totally broke my heart. So I learned never to tell anybody if I'm in something unless I actually see it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
But it was it was such a heartbreak. And then later on, I'm in this HBO series called True Blood. Yep. And I play this character, Tio Luca. And I'm like, I shot a bunch of scenes, and my character was discussed throughout the season, and I only was in 2 episodes twice, and so it's such a even when you do stuff, they say the best stuff is left in the cutting room floor. I agree. I'm
yeah.
Like, you just
oh, my best shit's on the floor.
Hey,
exactly.
Hey, JD, really quick. This is Noe again.
Sure.
Has anybody paved the way for you? Like you say that, hey, you know what? This person up in LA helped me out a lot in getting some of these parts or something like that. And that,
I can't say that. Well, I can say that there are people that inspired me along the way, like Valente Rodriguez. I remember he came out.
Don't say George Lopez. Whatever you do.
No. Well,
Valente's good
George
people, man.
Oh yeah, Valente's great. Yeah,
he's an angel.
I heard of him doing it. I've seen it. I've met him a couple of times actually. But when I heard that he did it, I thought to myself, well, that's something I was talking earlier. I always wanted to do. It's like my secret. And to some degree, I would say Valente was definitely an inspiration. But when I came out here, like I didn't know anybody. It's like you come out here, and more than half of the battle is connections. It's either nepotism, like
it's who you know.
It's who you know. And I always said I won't sleep with anybody. I won't kiss any ass. I may sleep with it, but I'm not going to kiss it.
There you go. Hey, that's pretty good. Hey, man, I'm watching TV one night, and then I got tired, and I roll over. I'm on the sofa. TV's on in the living room, and I hear a voice on the Jay Leno show. And, of course, hey, Jay Leno. I knew Jay Leno, but then I could hear another voice, and that voice just sounded so familiar. And it's right. Jay Leno talking to somebody, and I'm looking at the sofa. I'm not looking at the TV, but I'm hearing it, and I just keep hearing this voice that I know. And the question is, have you ever been confused with somebody famous? And the person that Jay Leno was talking to go, yeah, I've been mistaken for Keanu Reeves. And I turn around, and it's J.D. Mata on the Jay Leno show.
No way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How did that come about?
That is kind of a trippy story. But just going back real quick to the Uber One commercial thing, I went to, because you have an audition, and I have an agent, right? They'll send you to all these auditions. I've auditioned for This Is Us, for anyway, and they also send you out for major national commercials. And I knew this was Super Bowl season last month. So I got sent out for a couple of them. But this one in particular was for a music producer, a mixer in the recording studio, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, this is right up my alley. And I go in there and for the first audition, and I played it kind of a little bit with some comedy. And the director that was shooting the audition said, no, just play it really, really straight. You're just there. Because the main star is P. Diddy, and he's I think he said Hanson is recording a song, and you're just kind of there mixing. And so I just played it straight, and sure enough, I got a callback for that, and I went to the callback, and then they bring me back for final callbacks, and I walk in, and there's about 8 of us in the room. And it was me, the only Mexican. There was the only the token Chicano dude, and then there was 4 African American girls, and I think there was one or 2 white dudes, and so we just go in there individually, and we read and we audition for the actual director of the commercial and the producers, and then all the people that own the product, like Uber One.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I played it straight, and then the director said, well, Can you add some comedy to it? And go like
yeah, Father Mehmet was here.
It's like, and I said, it's a true story, dude. No, and they loved it. I thought I had booked it. That's the kiss of death. When you've booked, when you've done I killed it. That's the one you don't get.
Yeah.
But I did a commercial for the UPS store, and I remember walking out of the final callback thinking, damn, I should just go home. This was the worst audition ever. And on my way home, my agent calls me, you booked it. I go, what?
Nice. Nice.
And actually, that gave me that was an affirmation for me that I had what it took, like the chops to do it, because the guy that directed that commercial, his name is Joe Pytka, and he's considered to be the greatest commercial director in history. He's the guy that directed that first Super Bowl commercial where I think there's a guy that's running a track and he throws this thing and it became like a phenomenon in terms of commercials during the Super Bowl. And he did all the Michael Jackson commercials. In any event, the fact that he picked me, and coming off an audition that I thought was the worst I'd ever done, but he saw something in me, and so for me that was always an affirmation that I'm at the right place.
I guess you never know.
Hey Jay, so you've been in LA now how long now?
At least 20 years.
So going back to Bill's original question, I'll never forget, Billy, when I arrived here per se. Well, I made the decision I was going to come to Los Angeles, and it was weird for me because I would, back home, as you guys know, I was a musician, and that's how I survived. So I would survive off of I would survive off of they would give you deposits, right? Like if I was going to play a wedding, they'd book me for a wedding. If the wedding was in June, they'd book me in December, and they'd give me like $150 deposit. So then I couldn't leave. If I wanted to, I said to myself, I'm going to leave in December. I couldn't leave because I had a wedding in June because I had already gotten the deposit. So it was that vicious circle for years where June came along. I couldn't leave in June because I was already getting deposits for gigs in December.
You were already committed. You were committed.
I was committed. So one day I just said, that's it. And I quit taking deposits. And I said, I'm going to get bold. And I went and, started selling all my stuff. And I moved and I made the move and I made the leap. It was October 7th, 1999.
Wow.
And I remember, since then, and I remember driving into the city late at night, and it was like 2 a.m, and it was a freaking there was an accident on the freeway, and I just driven, and I saw the city lights, right? And
beautiful, right?
It was a standstill, and it was like, it was gorgeous. I said, you know what? I'm home.
There you
go.
So
there
you go. I love LA. There you go.
Exactly. I love LA.
Hey man, sure. You said it's competitive, but is it cutthroat? And we're going to have to wrap up here in a little bit, man. I hated this 30 minutes went really fast, but you said it's competitive. Is it cutthroat?
Oh man, it's so cutthroat.
Do you associate with other people from the Valley over there, like our friend David Barrera or
Max Decker?
Max Decker. I mean, do y'all get together at all? Do y'all keep in touch with each other, or not really?
Not physically. I haven't. Man, I ran into Max Decker a couple of times. Maybe the last time I saw him was maybe 10 years ago. But David Barrera and we communicate a lot.
Nice. He's a good guy.
Via Instagram mainly Instagram. But I love that guy.
Awesome. Hey, quickly, any advice to other Valley artists that are here and want to be there? What do you say?
What I always say is everybody's path is different. Like the road for me is I could go on another hour telling you about various experiences, but what I do suggest to people in the Valley that if they want to come out here and make the leap, and they feel that just be true to yourself. Be true to yourself, and I'll admit it. I came out here because it's about making money and getting famous.
Yeah.
But the reality is it's really, really treacherous. I think it's a cutthroat, and it's very unromantic. It's a lot of note, a lot of rejection. But at the end of the day, if you have, for me, like I had it's in my DNA in terms of the art.
Wow.
Right? And just being, once I recognize that, I've always known that the art, in terms of acting, in terms of music, and is.
Would you mind if we set up another interview with you soon? Because we're up against the wall here, and Billy takes us out. I want to thank you, JD Mata, but Billy does the official out, and we're going to get you back on the Living Large Theater, and we'll
Jay, thanks a lot, man, for your time this morning. Okay, bud.
Thank you, guys. It's such an honor and a pleasure. I love you guys. I respect you guys, and hope to come back again soon.
God bless you,
the
brother.
Living Large Theater. You can catch us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, a podcast platform, also Google. You can find us on Facebook, Living Large Theater. Our Gmail address is livinglargetheater@gmail.com. I'm Billy Santiago. That's my good friend Gary Rodriguez and Noe Ayala, producer extraordinaire. Until next week, take good care of yourself.